As the 2024 AFLW season is about to begin, it's time to celebrate what's going to be the best season to date. Last year, Brisbane won the big one against North Melbourne in a thrilling contest. But this year, the race is wide open. Will we see the Brisbane Lions go back-to-back? Or will we see a new team race a cup at the end of the season? Will we see a side like the Saints go from out of the 8 to winning the big one? Patrikios, Watson, Xenos, Wardlaw, Vesely and Smith will have something to say. Or will it be North Melbourne, a side filled with stars from experience? 2 young guns, Garner, Birch, Ferguson, Gatt, Tripodi, Eddie, Martin and O'Shea. Or is it the Demons? 5 experienced players go out, but young stars like Bassano, Witherspoon and co will have an impact. And of course, star trio Horse, Zanker and Mithen have something to say about this year's flag race after last year's disappointment. Can the young dogs rise up to the occasion? New coach, new players, new leaders. Sometimes change comes in a good way. Blackburn gets some support in the team via young stars Greg Butterfint and Chrissy Lee Turner. And new recruits ready to prove a point in Smith, Arends and McKee. Or can a team filled with young stars at Port Adelaide who dominated this year's draft, bringing in Young, Goody, Window, Brook and Brooksby, surprise us all? Stars in this competition galore, headlined, just to name a few, Conti, Garner, Marinoff, Gardner, Too Good, the Prosparka sisters, Malloy, O'Driscoll, Patrikios and Dawes. We can't also forget the future of this competition. Loz Young, Charlie Rowbottom, Sinead Goody, Ella Roberts, Charlie Thomas, Brenna Tarrant, Sophia Hurley, Alicia Pisano, Elaine Grigg, Ali Morford, Holly Cooper, Ali Dalloway, Ella Heads, Matilda Schultz, and of course last year's Rising Star winner, Zali Goldsworthy. So many talented players ready to have insane seasons. I know I'm excited. Are you? Welcome to season 2024 of the AFLW. Let's go!
Let's go! We always get for victory. Every time there's a war of the world of the world. We'll answer to the call. Go Lions, here's the Lions. We'll kick the winning score. We'll hear the money roll.
If other people are feeling things that are like, oh, I want to try something, I don't know whether or not it's going to work. I'm like, I didn't know. You didn't know. You didn't know that, you know, even your reach, Cooper, as well, and what you're doing on Instagram and your interviews and everything like that is a form of connection for everyone. And again, it's hats off to you for that. Like, no one could have told you that was going to happen. I love listening to your stuff. And I'm even more grateful to be a part of it. But yeah, it was interesting you brought up that the AFL player for you, because again, I had a couple connections with through the AFL Academy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scoops AFLW show. I'm your host, Cooper, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumors, and results. And what a big show I've lined up for you guys and girls this evening on the Scoops AFLW show. Well. We had results that were a bit surprising. We've seen some teams get upsets. Teams got smashed. We had a whole range of variety of games this weekend. Double game for some teams this week. Double games this week. Obviously Carlton had some double ups, Richmond, North Melbourne, etc. There was a fair few that did have double up games. The Saints lost again to Freo in a very disappointing display, if I'm being brutally honest. Just could not get the ball inside the 50. Freo did. Watto and Trojan did really well in defence, but they had all the inside 50s Freo, and in the end, it was all too much. But we're going to go through all the games that happened. We're going to preview the games that start tomorrow night. We're going to talk about a few news topics, my AFLW Fantasy team, and many, many more. But one thing I want to start to say off the top, congratulations to Molly Brooksby, who's the round 5 Rising Star nominee for 2024. Molly Brooksby had a great game, has had a great season, to be honest. She takes a lot of the kick-outs, but her distance kicks have been really good. Her skills have been really good. Her running carries, not just taking the kick-outs. She runs, she'll get the 1-2. She's part of a lot of the chains for Port Adelaide in her first season. So credit to Molly for winning the round 5 Rising Star nomination. Well deserved. I thought Meg Robinson also did really well and could have gotten it. But they were both very good. And Meg, I'm sure, will get an opportunity for the upcoming rounds for Carlton. But yeah, regardless, they were both very, very good. Lucy Cronin's having a great season as well. She obviously got it recently, the previous round. But and Sinead Goody, who got it in round 1, who will be a genuine contender for the Rising Star at the end of the season. Will Sinead Goody, and probably the favourite for me still. Obviously, there's a few other girls that haven't gotten it yet, like Piper Window and Alicia Pistano. I'm sure they'll have a nomination before the season's over. There's some other names in contention. Caitlin Surhoy has already gotten it. She'll be up there at come the end of the season. And there's some other names that will be in the conversation as well. So well on to Molly Brooksby for the round 5 NAB Rising Star nomination. Alrighty. We'll start off with this. If you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend with someone on their birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players and any up-and-coming draftees, and you would like to see them on the podcast in a goal kicking challenge or an interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. If you haven't checked out my Footy Festival interview video with so many of the AFLW and AFL's best, in terms of the AFLW, I had, I think, 7 names off the top of my head. Lily Mithen, Bonnie Toogood, Kate Hoare, Maddie Prasparkas, Montana McKinnon, Ash Riddell, and more. So it's a great chat to all of them. They're all wonderful people. So please go and check it out. Obviously met Sarah Rowe as well, and a fair few others as well, which is great to meet. Some that I have met before and some that I haven't. So it's great to see. All right. It is time for the world famous segment. Scoops goes bang. What are you going to bang on about today, Scoops? Look, to be honest, I love the idea and the concept that the AFLW competition has brought with fans. It's called a fan engagement area. Now, some grounds, they have a rope where the players will be in that rectangle, say, and depending on the stadium, you either be behind the fence or you can go in the oval after the second siren and you can go around the rope that's partially on the field. Icon Park does a great job. Some other grounds don't even do that setup, which they should be, and they need to lift their game for that. But the issue I have, now, key word here, fan engagement. Now, this is more in terms of the people that surround there. Now, it's not a big issue, but it's an issue I want to raise. And I've spoken to a fair few fans at the ground who have messaged me, etc. I feel like it needs to be more of a fan engagement area, which is what it's called. Now, people have friends there, they have family there, but they see these players every day or speak to them every day. The fan engagement is for fans. I'm not saying families can't be there, but to take up everyone's time, like it's a fan engagement area for like 10 minutes. But when you take up other people's time, some people don't get to see these players ever. Some of these clubs play from interstate, so you never see them. You might see them once in a blue moon. If the player they want to meet is playing or not, like they never get to see them. And it's just disappointing that the people in their positions don't let the fans get more involved. The competition is doing a great thing, so kudos to them for that. But the fan engagement should be for fans. That's all. It's 10 minutes. People that know these players on a lot better basis than some. I'm sure you talk to them every day, hang out with them every day or every week. That 10 minutes, though, leave it for the fans, please. Please. You can be there. But to stop fans from talking to people because you're going to stay with them the whole time until we're told to leave, that's disappointing. So, you know, if you have the honor of knowing some personally or you're related to them, just let the fans engage with the players. It's a fan engagement. That's why you get personal access to the rooms, to trainings and everything like that. Please let the fans do the fans thing. A fan engagement area. Fan engagement. That's what it is. Not family engagement area. To the people in that position, please let the fans be the fans. Thank you. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed that short edition of the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Now, my AFLW fantasy score, I want to go through that before I actually forget. Because last week, I didn't mention it. Last week, I scored in the 1800s, close to 2000. I went up so much in the rankings. I was thinking I don't even know the rank off the top of my head, but currently I'm in the 4,000s. I think I was either in the 3,000s, like late 3,000s to late 4,000s, maybe early 5,000s. And I've jumped up again slightly this week. I scored 1,585 against some double up games. I had Abby McKay in my team, who I brought in for this double round, and she got injured after the first game in the third quarter. So I missed her for that. I had BT Brenda Tarrant be managed, so I had to put her to the bench and to play a rookie. So, and a few moves that didn't go to plan. I reckon I would have scored maybe another 130 odd points, so I would have scored about 1,700, I feel, if those moves went my way. And yeah, so I'm really happy with how I went. I'm doing the 3 trades again this week. More double up games for this week. 4 teams have the double up game. You're going to have to figure it out for yourself who they are, because I'm not revealing my tactics, because everyone wants to steal my ways of who I pick. So I'm not giving specific names. I'm really pleased with how Ella Roberts went again. Young star of the competition is Ella. Great person too. I've met now 3 times in the matter of 2 weeks. She's a ripper and a great player, and has to be a contender for the Brownlow medal, the MVP award for 2024 is Ella Roberts. She'd be a genuine contender right now. She could be the favourite right now. She's been that good. Obviously, Charlie Rowbottom. Mon Conti's been terrific again for me. That's why I said never trade out Mon Conti. That'd be a silly move. And she had the double up game this round as well. So it would have been more of a reason not to trade her out. You know, I'm pretty happy with most of my team so far. Made some adjustments. Alicia O'Dowd is doing really well for me in the ruck. Instead of playing a ruckman over 1 mil. But yeah, I'm really happy with how I went overall. Just, you know, through injuries and players getting managed, I would have liked those players to play and obviously not be injured. And I feel like I would have got a lot more. But overall, you know, not disappointed. But I felt like there was a little bit more points there that I could have got. But overall, not too disappointed. I made my 3 trades. I'm really happy with the trades I've done thus far. Now, normally there's no Tuesday games, but since I'm recording this on a Monday night, the teams already came out. So let's read the ins and outs for the Geelong Fremantle game. Before I know I should do that in the preview, but I just want to read the ins and outs, and then I'll go through the previews later. So for Geelong, congratulations to Bridie O'Rourke, the father-daughter, will make her AFLW debut for the Geelong Football Club. So on to Bridie. She comes into the team with 2 other players, Caitlin Thorne, and having a brain fade. I think it's, yes, Melissa Bragg. That's who I thought it was. Kate Sermon's out with concussion. Amy McDonald's out 3 to 5 weeks of a hamstring injury, and Georgia Rankin's been omitted. Gabby O'Sullivan is in for the Dockers, back from a 1-week suspension. Michaela Morrison is back after an ACL injury for a long 12 months for Michaela. It's great to see she's back. Dana East is out managed. Yet another page says concussion, so a bit confused there. And Michaela Karina, is being omitted. No Holly Eifold this week. Interesting how potential debutant isn't picked this week, but I'm sure she'll be in before the season's over for the Dockers, Holly Eifold. So yeah, congratulations to Bridie O'Rourke, who will make her AFLW debut for Geelong tomorrow night. So now we'll go back to, you know what's coming now. It's the round 5 scoops. AFLW team of the week. Alrighty. From the back line. Oh, hang on a second. No, I haven't. Forgotten a name this time. I just got to make sure I got the right banner there. Okay. All right, I do. All right. So let me repeat that again. My scoops, round 5 AFLW team of the week. From the back line, Tilly Lucas Rod and Serene Watson. Half back line, the flankers, Molly Brooksby and Lucy McAvoy. Centre half back, Ella Heads. Wingers, Keely Shear and Ash Riddell. Centre woman, Eliza West. Half forward line, the flankers, Bella Eddy and Lucy Single. Centre half forward, Mackenzie Erdley. Forward line, Aisling Maloney and Gemma Houghton. Ruck, Matilda Schultz. Rovers, Ella Roberts and Mon Conti. Interchange, Meg Robertson, Ruby Tripodi, Lucy Wales, Chelsea Randall and Daria Bannister. Emergencies, all very unlucky. Isabel Lewis, Isabel Huntington, Britt Benici, Ebony Marinoff, Ali Anderson, Laura Gardner, Sophia Hurley, Mim Strom, Caitlin Surhoy, Maddie Prasparkas, and Charlie Rowbottom. Now, here is the team on the screen. Now, reasons. All right, Belle Lewis is very stiff. She was so good for the Eagles. She was the next midfielder chosen. But for the back line, Tilly Lucas Rod had 27 Tilly Lucas Rod had 27 disposals off the half back line. So she deserved a spot in the team. Serene Watson-Watto had 22 disposals. At like 14 intercept disposals. Watto was an absolute lock. Molly Brooksby, the rising star winner for the round. 20 disposals in the second game. She was awesome and good in the first game at Icon Park against Richmond. Ella Heads at 22 disposals for a key defender. That's a lock. Lucy McBoy was a rock down back for the Swans at that game against the Bulldogs. I was there. Keely Scher was dominant in the previous game against Port Adelaide, in particular also in the first game. So she deserved a spot for sure. Play through the wing and midfield. Eliza West, I've been telling you all, she would be the steal of the trade period. And Eliza West is a star in the making, if not already. 20-odd disposals, 16 tackles. Do I need to say more? Westie is a gun. And I said at the time that Melbourne rue the day they dropped Eliza West after the first final, where she had 20 disposals and got dropped. Unbelievable. And I guarantee you that's why she left, because it's unbelievable. Ash Riddell had 32 disposals in the second game. It was very good in the first game in the smashing over Carlton. Bella Eddy kicked 2 goals and 20 disposals yesterday. In the first game against Carlton, and was good on the weekend, kicked a goal with like 15 disposals. Mackenzie Earley was a rock down forward, the former defender. She kicked 2 goals too, with like 15 disposals and like 6 marks, 3 of those contested. Her presence was felt in that forward line, and what a great move for Daniel Webster, the coach of the Hawks, to swing Mackenzie Earley down the forward line. It's been a risky move, but it's paid off so far in the last few weeks since she came back in the side after being a late inclusion against Collingwood, which surprisingly wasn't named in the first few weeks of the season, which is a bit interesting. I know she was injured, but she was named an emergency one of the weeks. Lucy Single in the midfield had 31 disposals and 10 tackles. I mean, with the shorter format for Team of the Weeks, like the best 21, not 23, it's 2 less players, which means realistically it's probably 2 less midfielders. So it's really hard to fit these players in. That's why girls like Britt Benici and Isabel Lewis missed out. It's just so harsh, but they've got best 21, not best 23 like the AFL do. Aisling Maloney, 3 goals, 18 disposals. She is the individual reason why Geelong win that game the whole game. She was so good up in the forward line. Gemma Houghton was terrific in both games for the Power, contributing to the win, and in their loss was their best player by far in that game. Schultze in the ruck was dominant against Richmond, against Tamara Luke, and yesterday against Brent Moody. Ella Roberts, I mean, I've said it already. She is the future of this competition with Zali Goldsworthy. 3 goals yesterday, 20 disposals, 9 tackles, like 16 of those contested. Ella's a star. She's already a star. Like I said with Zali last year, she's not only a rising star, she's the rising star. I mean, if there's any time of year you could have 2 deserving winners of a joint award, it's Ella Roberts and Zali Goldsworthy. They both do not need a lot of disposals to be so damaging. And both at 19 years of age, it's such a great sight for them that they're already this damn good. And really, both of them are personally in my top 5 players for this competition right now. And they're only 19 years of age, which is a huge honour for them to be in this conversation. Speaking of stars, Mon Conti, 36 disposals yesterday in horrendous conditions in Tassie. She was a star in the first game, and a star again in the second game. Lock. Meg Robinson, her second game of the round was awesome. So was the first game. But her second game especially was awesome. 20 disposals. She missed about 15, 20 minutes in between the third and last quarter through a little knock to the face, and it looked like a knee. She was hobbling a little bit, so thankfully she's all good as she came back on. But 20 disposals in let's say 50% game time or thereabouts. That's bloody impressive. In fact, I think it was less than that. I think it was 47% game time. That's just amazing. So Meg deserves a spot in the team and was really important with her disposal as well. Ruby Tripodi, 2 important games. Jenna Bruton missed the first game being managed, and her midfield minutes rose up, and she's a star, young star that people aren't really giving much credit to. Everyone talks about Garner and Riddell, and fair enough to and Mia King and Jenna Bruton. But Ruby Tripodi has to be in this conversation. She didn't play in last year's grand final. I thought she was very unlucky not to. She had to bide her time in scrimmage matches, but when she's came into the team, in the main team, she's bloody shown that she's good at this level. And she's featured a few times in my team of the weeks, and there's a reason why. She's a star player. And on top of that, she's a ripper human as well. Lucy Wells, a great ruck for the Hawks, dominated against Geelong's ruck on the weekend. Geelong don't really have a recognised ruckman, but that doesn't matter. Lucy Wells was awesome. 22 disposals and 30-something hit-outs. Was a star in this game. Chelsea Randall in the back line for the Crows was really good. Over 20 disposals for a key defender is a lock, just like Watto and Ella Heads were. And Lucy McAvoy was thereabouts as well. And Daria Bannister for the Bombers kicked 4. 3 of those in the first quarter, I believe. And the game was dead and buried after quarter time against Melbourne. They all deserve a spot. The girls on the bench, on the emergencies, really Marinov and Lewis and Benici and Gardner and Hurley and Maddie Pasparkas were all very stiff. Caitlin Surhoy was very dominant in her 15-odd disposals. Was very dominant. I saw a few people say I have not rated Ebony Marinoff highly at all. That you cannot be more wrong. Ebony Marinoff is a star and a genuine contender for the Brownlow medal this year, the MVP award. So I don't know how you can say that. Just because I haven't had her in the team of the week all the time. It's very hard to fit midfielders in now with 2 less positions. It's just very hard. And then you've got to kind of be naming more forwards. So, like Lucy Single, basically I had it ahead of her, 31 disposals and 10 tackles and better efficiency. So that's why Lucy was in the team over Ebony Marinoff. And Dario Bannister and Randall play other positions. Wales is a ruckman. You could then argue Tripodi and Robinson, but I love their influence on the game and the limited amount of time that Meg had. And Ruby was consistent in both games that she played in the rounds. So stiff and harsh, I suppose, for Ebony Marinoff. Her efficiency was low, is probably what kept her out. And Lucy Single was the one I single-handedly, pardon the pun, single-handedly kept her out of the team. So that's my team of the week. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. All right, let's go review the round 5 games. Some teams played twice, some did not, but let's go through it anyway, shall we? All right, so the first game we're going to go through was in round 5, Richmond 48, Port Adelaide 27. I feel like Port Adelaide had their opportunities late in the game, late in the third, they were getting some goals. The last quarter, they kept getting the inside 50s and got it to around 20 points. And they felt like, this next goal's coming. And they are a chance. I think they got it to 14 points. And then I thought, hello, they're going into 50 again. And they just couldn't score. Schultz had a few chances. Kirsty Lamb handed one off to Goody. So they had a lot of chances, Port Adelaide. I feel like they were just so close from getting this game so close. But overall, Richmond were very dominant, led by Mon Conti, Ali McKenzie, Elise Sheeran. All played their part as well. Brooksby was great. Gemma Houghton was also good as well. And Matilda Schultz. Carlton 10 and North Melbourne 79. It's expected. Roos are fantastic and Carlton are no good. It's plain and simple. As harsh as it sounds, I had Carlton near the bottom for a reason, and they've proven me correct throughout this whole tournament so far. So, it is what it is, right? They just weren't good enough in this game. They were pathetic. North Melbourne were awesome. Neve Martin was terrific, who could have been easily in my team of the week, but I didn't put her in. Again, so many limited positions in the team. That's why I have longer emergencies as well. She was awesome. Bella Eddy was awesome, who was in the team of the week. Who kicked 2 and 20. there was so many players I could have put in. It's just, very harsh, I know. But Martin, Riddell, Garner, Tripodi, Taylor Gatt in that game was good. Alice O'Loughlin was also good, who I wanted to put in the team of the week, but couldn't. Again, due to limited spots in the team. I really want those 2 extra positions. It would help me fit the team a bit more. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, they were great, the Tigers and the Roos, in those 2 games. They end up playing against each other coincidentally. Hawthorn 79, Geelong 61. Hawthorn by 18 points. This was the game of the season by far. Highest scoring. You didn't know who was going to win. Geelong started well, then Hawthorn came back, then Hawthorn kicked 4 runs to start the third quarter. Laura Stone kicked 3 goals. Her first 3 goals in her career, 2 in the third, 1 in the last. Aisling Maloney got a goalie contender. This game had everything. Eliza West was good. Mackenzie Early was good. Morrison was good for Geelong in the midfield. Amy McDonald was really good until she done her hamstring. Unfortunately, it was 3 to 5 weeks, as I said. A lot of the Hawks players were really good and consistent. This game had everything in moments. Michaela Bowen had her moments as well, Bowie. So, everyone had their moments. Everyone had an opportunity, and almost every time it was taken. There's some good smothers. This game had everything. This was easily the game of the season for me. 18 points, but it was closer than that. The Hawks just had bigger moments for longer. And Laura Stone was a key contributor to that in the last half, kicking 3 goals, her first 3 goals in her career. I spoke to her after the game. She was obviously really happy with how she went and how the team went. Credit to her for pushing through and doing really well, Laura Stone. Eliza West continues to be a star of this competition, as I said. She was awesome, as was Lucy Wales in the ruck, dominated the Geelong rucks, part-time rucks. Because they've got no ruck. But regardless, Lucy Wales did what Lucy Wales had to do. And she's a star as well, young star ruck, with her sister Steph Wales at Essendon. But this game was easily game of the year by far. Next game, Collingwood and Gold Coast 27-24. The Pies by 3 points. They get their first win of the year. Tani White kicked a couple of goals, was terrific. Lucy Single was awesome. Britt Benici was really good. Jack Toupé came back in the side and done all right. Lucy Single, as I said, done really well. Jamie Stanton got screwed of a goal in the first quarter. It's in my matchday vlogs. So if you haven't checked out any of my matchday vlogs, please go and check it out. She got absolutely screwed in the first quarter. I got it filmed right in front of me. Jamie Stanton got robbed right in front of me. Georgia Clayton kicked her 3rd goal in her career. I've coincidentally filmed 2 of her first 3 goals in her career, the winger, half-back. So after the game, she's pretty happy with that goal. And obviously it would have been nice, as she said, if the team had got the win as well. But she did well. Charlie Rowbottom played a role. Maddie Bastino came back into the team. Apologies, Maddie, if I got that wrong. It's a long last name. I'm normally really good with name pronunciations, but yeah, it's a hard one to pronounce. But Maddie was back from her injury. It's great to see. But yeah, Suns, disappointing year so far. The Pies, well done to them getting their first win of the season. Essendon 72, Melbourne 7. Essendon by 65 points. Well, I don't know if you're a Melbourne fan and you are not angry at the moment. I understand you got a bunch of injuries. Eden Zanker didn't play on the weekend. Grace Beasley's unfortunate with an ACL. Loz Pierce, your star ruck's not playing. And everyone else around that are out as well. So a lot of pressure's been put on Kate Hall, the captain, and Lily Mithen and Talia Gillard down in the back line. And it just hasn't clicked for them this year so far. I felt, though, at the time, I had them 9th in my ladder prediction because I felt like the losses of Eliza West and Casey Sheriff and Charlotte Wilson and Madison Gay and Libby Birch were really going to hurt them. And it's proven to have hurt them, especially if you add these injuries. But as you see in my Footy Fest vlog, I spoke to Kate Hall, the captain, and Lily Mithen, the star player as well, the day before the game. They were upbeat, feel like it could turn. But unfortunately for them, it didn't happen. They've got a lot of pressure on them, those two. And I know they can turn it around. They've got the Giants on Thursday night at Icon Park, which I think they can turn it around there. The Giants are all over the place as well. More close losses than what Melbourne have had. But I feel like that's going to be an opportunity for them to get the win. Hopefully they can get some people back. They may lose Shelley Heath, who had a knock to the shoulder, I think it was, who didn't play the last quarter. Same with Eliza McNamara, who has a nasal fracture injury or something as well. So see if they both play. They only got one available player, Delaney Madgen, who has yet to play an AFL game. She's 19 years of age, a tall defender. Hopefully she gets a go this week, regardless of if McNamara or Shelley Heath are out. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, they were very bad. I mean, can't sugarcoat it. Yes, they got a lot of injuries, but Essendon aren't that good. And Maddie Pasparkas led the charge for the Bombers there. Georgia G, Daria Bannister kicked 4. Wales in the ruck did okay as well. St Kilda 14, Freo 25. Freo by 11 points. Now, Gabby Webster kicked the last goal of the game in the last minute. So this game was under a goal for pretty much the whole game until that last minute, 30 seconds or so. I feel like Fremantle dominated the play. St Kilda couldn't get the ball inside their 50, forward 50 in the last half, second half of the game, third and fourth quarter especially. And Freo, Watto was a star down back as she is. She has to be All-Australian to lock right now, Serene Watson, Watto. But outside of Watto and Paige Trudgeon, where were the rest of the team? Like, it's really disappointing. Like, Jessie Warlaw can't do it all up forward. They need the other players up forward to do something. I thought the midfield weren't good in this game at all. Like, some of the midfielders that are normally very good and consistent in playing well weren't. It's disappointing, but we have to move along and play Adelaide this week, which will be very hard. Western Bulldogs 39, Sydney 32. Bulldogs 2 in a row. Great to see for them. Swans, what the hell's going on? Maybe they shouldn't have managed 3 players, BT, Giselle Davies, and Amy Whelan, who came back in as a late in. Montana Ham was a late out being managed. So maybe they need to just play everyone. I know they say with the close games and everything, but they'll have to do something to fix this up. But, you know, for the Bulldogs, great to see them get a consistent win here. 2 wins in a row. In terms of individual performances, I thought Ella Heads and Sophia Hurley and Lucy McAvoy, the ones that were in my team, they were really good for the Swans. But overall, I thought the Bulls were really even contributors. Christy Lee Turner kicked a few goals, and in the third quarter was a great goal to start that quarter. So she had her game of her career so far, Christy Lee Weston Turner. Yeah. So the next game are the Sunday games to go through. 27-15, North Melbourne over Richmond in Tassie. Bad conditions. Riddell, Garner, Tripodi were really good. Conti, Elise Sheeran were really good for the Tigers. But it was who could capitalise late, and North Melbourne in the third and fourth quarter took a bit of control. Richmond, I feel like, had the start of the game, and no one could really capitalise on that wind. And really, the team against the wind did better at that end. So it was a really interesting contest, just like the conditions. But overall, good win for the Roos. Brisbane 35, Adelaide 33. Taylor Smith get the last goal of the game. And Hannah Munyard, I think it was, for the Crows, had a chance. Didn't get it, just fell a few metres short. And Taylor Smith did a rundown tackle in the last quarter, in the last 30 seconds. Not only kicked the winning goal with a minute and a half to go after Sarah Goodwin, sorry, not Hannah Munyard, missed a goal, fell a few metres short. And Taylor Smith did a tackle on Hannah Munyard, I think it was, that won on the game. So Taylor Smith won on the game twice with 2 individual acts and did really well. So on to Taylor Smith and the Lions. That game, those 2 clubs always have great games. And in Brisbane, that was nothing different. It was a great game there. The final 2 games, GWS West Coast, GWS 40, West Coast 64. Eagles, I'm telling you right now, if they make the 8, they may do some damage. Roberts and Thomas and Drennan, their 3 best players this year. Isabel Lewis, Belle Lewis, Emma Swanson, their captain, all doing very well. They get Jade Britton back in this side. Abigail Bushby, they just got back in the side. And a few other players around that are doing really well. Beth Schilling down in the back line are doing really well as well. So the Eagles, you know, I was one that wrote them off before the season started, but telling you right now, they're doing what the men's Giants team did in 2023. They're on the rise, the Eagles. Watch out on the Eagles. They've got Port Adelaide this week, which they could easily win that as well. So well done to the Eagles and the Giants. Sirhoy and Goldsworthy were really good. Tony Evans kicked 3. I thought Pepper Randall tried her heart out in the back line. But overall, they'd be very disappointed, the Giants, of how they performed. And Isabel Huntington did really well as well. Port Adelaide and Carlton. Port Adelaide 58, Carlton 23. Port Adelaide by 35 points. Port Adelaide were in control the whole game. Carlton came and had a chance late. And then Port Adelaide got 2 goals in the last minute. Gemma Houghton was awesome. Molly Brooksby. Ash Sane had a really good game. For Carlton, it was Kelly Shear and Meg Robinson that led the way. Now let's go preview the round 6 games to wrap us up this evening. First game, start the round 6, is Geelong and Freo at Geometry Stadium, 7:15 Victorian time, Tuesday night, which is tomorrow night. I have Fremantle winning this one by 10 points. Hopefully it's a high-scoring game again. Wednesday, 5:15 p.m. in Frankston's, Hawthorn hosting Hawthorn hosting Gold Coast. I have Hawthorn to win this by 26 points. Wednesday night at Whitten Oval in Footscray. It's Essendon hosting Sydney. 7:15 Victorian time. I'll be between the Swans to win this one by 12 points to bounce back to the Swannies. Hopefully, BT Brendan Tarrant should be back. Thursday night at Icon Park, 7:15 Victorian time. Melbourne hosting GWS. I'm going to back in GWS in this one by 1 point. They've had a few more closer games than Melbourne, and Melbourne have had a bunch of injuries as well. Friday night at Norwood Oval, 7:45 Victorian time. It's Adelaide hosting the Saints. I'll be tipping the Crows in this one by 25 points. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Saturday, 1:05 p.m. at Arden Street. It's North Melbourne hosting the Western Bulldogs. I'll be tipping North Melbourne in this one by 20 points. But if the Doggies can win 3 in a row and beat the Roos, oh my God, watch out. Saturday, 3:05 at Punt Road. It's Richmond hosting Collingwood, 3:05 Vic time. I'll be tipping the Tigers in this one by 36 points. Saturday, 5:05 p.m. West Coast hosting Port Adelaide Saturday at Mineral Resources Park in Perth. I have West Coast beating the Power by 12 points. Carlton hosting Brisbane Saturday night at Icon Park, 7:15 Victorian time. I'll be tipping Brisbane to win this one by 45 points. The Sunday games, just the 3. We have Gold Coast hosting Essendon at Heritage Bank Stadium. Sunday, 1:05 Vic time. I'll be tipping Gold Coast to win this one in an upset by 1 point over Essendon. Sunday, 3:05 p.m. at Henson Park at lovely ground, that is. The Swans and Geelong, 3:05 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping the Swans in this one by 12 points. And the final game of the round for round 6 on Sunday, 5:05 p.m. in Perth. That is Victorian time, 5:05. Fremantle hosting Hawthorn at Fremantle Oval. That is going to be a great clash and a clash you don't want to miss. I'll be tipping Hawthorn, though, in that one by 12 points. My final thoughts are simply this. If you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, wish someone happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. Cameo.com/Cooper G. If you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees, and you would like to send them on the podcast in a Goal King Challenge or an interview, please do send me a message and try and get something sorted. And if you'd like to be a co-host on this show, please send me a message on Instagram, AFL Info Live. Thank you all. The most important thing of all to remember is go the Saints, and of course, acknowledge me. They'll win. And come on, Saints, get the win. Do the unthinkable.